Book of Second Kings, chapter 4, verse 1. If I can get the mouse to move. All right, let's move the mouse. Here we go, verse 1. So this woman who was married to one of the prophet's sons came to Elisha and said, Yo, my husband, your boy, passed away, and he had mad respect for the Lord. But now the creditor's here, trying to take my two sons as slaves. Elisha was like, yo, what can I do for you? Is that really how Gen Z talks? Every other word is yo. That doesn't, I don't think I've heard Gen Zers talking like that now. Yo, 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 yo. Unless you're just not talking like that in front of me. Spill the tea. What do you have in the crib? And the woman was like, sorry, but I'm totally broke. I only have a little jar of oil. And he was like, I'm not reading yo every other sentence. I'm gonna do it here and there, but not 3 verses like that. And he was like, go out and ask your neighbors if you can borrow their empty vessels. Don't just ask for a few, borrow as many as you can. No cap. Once you're inside, close the door behind you and your squad, then flex by pouring into all those lit containers and set aside the ones that are fully stacked. So she left him and closed the door with her and her sons who had brought the stuff to her. And she spilled it all out. When all the containers were filled up, she said to her son, yo, grab me another container. He's like, no, there ain't no more containers left. And the oil stopped flowing. So she went and told the prophet guy, and he was like, yo, sell the oil and use the money to pay off your debt. Then you can live with your kids on the leftover cash. So one day, Elisha went to Shunem, where he met this amazing woman. She insisted that he join her for a meal. And from that day forward, whenever he passed by, he would stop by and have a bite to eat. Can you believe it? This woman was just so awesome that she had such an impact on Elisha that he couldn't resist her invitation. And she was like, hubby, check it out. I'm getting major vibes that this dude passing by is a legit holy man of God. Hey, how about we create a chill space, like a mini room on the wall? We can put a bed, table, stool, and a cool candle holder there. So when he comes to visit, he can crash here. So one day he arrives at the place, goes into the room, and crashes there. Tell Gehazi, your sidekick, to hit up the Shunammite lady. And when he finally got her on the line, she showed up in front of him. He was like, go tell her. This 4th chapter, too many yos. I'm not reading all those yos. So we're going to skip the yos for chapter 4 because I'm looking now and it's just yo, 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 yo. Nope. We pick it up in chapter 5, but not in 4. And he was like, go tell her, like, wow, you've been looking out for us so much. What can we do to thank you? Do you want us to put in a good word for you with the king or the boss? She's like, no, I'm good. I'm chilling with my own peeps. And he was like, okay, what can we do to help her out? And Gehazi was like, bro, she doesn't have any kids. And her husband is like ancient. That's insulting. Then he was like, call her. And when he did, she came and stood at the door. And he was like, in about a specific time, you're going to be hugging up on a son. She's like, nah, my dude, you the man of God better not be straight up lying to your girl. And the lady got pregnant and gave birth to a son, just like Elisha had predicted at the right time in her life. So like when the kid got older, one day he went out to his dad, who was working with the reapers. And he's like, Pops, my head hurts so bad. He's like, dude, go tell that kid to take you to your mom. And after he was taken and brought to his mother, he sat on her lap until noon and then passed away. And she went up, put him on the man of God's bed and closed the door on him, then bounced out of there. So she texts her husband and asks him to hook her up with one of his epic boys and one of the cool rides so she can zoom to the man of God and come back. He was like, why are you even going to him today? It's not the new moon or Sabbath or anything. She was like, it's going to be fine. No worries. So she got a ride ready, told her servant to hurry up and go without holding back, unless she says otherwise. So she went and found the man of God at Mount Carmel. And when the man of God saw her from a distance, he said to his servant Gehazi, look, there goes that Shunammite woman. Go quickly and meet her, then ask her how she's doing. Are things going good for you? Is your husband doing all right? Is the kid all right? She replied, everything's all good. So she went up to the man of God on the hill and grabbed onto his feet. But Gehazi tried to push her away. But the man of God said, leave her alone. Her spirit is troubled deep down. And the Lord has kept it secret from me and hasn't told me yet. And she was like, wait, did I ask for a kid from you? I straight up told you not to play games with me. Gehazi, get ready and grab my staff. Go on your way. Don't greet anyone you meet. And if someone greets you, don't respond. Just put my staff on the kid's face. And the kid's mom was like, oh my goodness, I swear and swear on my life, I'm not going to abandon you. So the child got up and started following her. Gehazi went ahead of them. What child? Now you all are making this text very confusing. What child got up and followed her? So Gehazi went ahead of them and gently placed the staff on the child's face, but nothing happened. So he went back to meet Elisha and said, sorry, but the child didn't wake up. So when Elisha entered the house, guess what? The child was dead, just lying there on the bed. So he went inside, closed the door behind him, leaving just the two of them. Then he started praying to the Lord. And he climbed up onto the bed and leaned over the kid and pressed his lips against its lips and his eyes against its eyes and his hands against its hands and stretched himself out over the kid. And the body of the kid felt warm. Then he went back inside and started pacing back and forth and went up to the child and stretched himself out on him. And the kid sneezed 7 times and finally opened his eyes. And he was like, Gehazi, hit up that Shunammite woman. So he hit her up. And when she came to him, he was like, take your kid with you. So she walked in, went straight to him and like totally prostrated herself on the floor and like picked up her son and then left. So Elisha went back to Gilgal and there was a major shortage of food in the land. The guys who were training to become prophets were hanging out with him. And he told his assistant, get the big pot and cook some soup for the guys. And someone went to the field to collect herbs and they found a super random vine with a bunch of these wild squash things. They grabbed a ton and then chopped them up and tossed them into the pot of soup because they had no clue what they were. So they served the food for the guys to eat. And while they were munching on the soup, they got upset and said, man of God, this is some deadly stuff in the pot. And they couldn't eat it for real. He was like, bring me some meal. So he threw it in the pot and was like, serve it up to the homies so they can eat. And guess what? The pot was all good, no bad vibes or anything. So there was this dude from Baal Shalisha who brought the man of God some fresh vibes, 20 loaves of barley bread and fully loaded corn on the cob. And he was like, yo, feed the people with this. And the servant was like, are you serious? Are you expecting me to serve this to 100 people? And he's like, yep, give it to them anyways. Because God said they're going to eat and still have leftovers. So we good. Then he put it in front of them and they chowed down and had leftovers just like the Lord said. 2 Kings chapter 5. Yo, naming the big shot captain, we can go back to you yos now. Yo, naming the big shot captain of the king of Syria's crew. Boy, that's a long, strange sentence. Yo, naming the big shot captain of the king of Syria's crew was straight up impressive and respected because the Lord had helped him make Syria win battles and stuff. He was also pretty brave. But here's the thing. He had a case of leprosy. Like it wasn't a good look, you know. So like the Syrians went out in groups and like kidnapped this lady from Israel. And she became like a servant to Naaman's wife. And she was like, yo, imagine if my boss had the hookup with that prophet in Samaria. He could totally cure him of his leprosy and stuff, like for real. Now, if God could heal your slave master that kidnapped you, if he could heal him from leprosy, couldn't he also deliver you from slavery? Saints, answer that for me. So we know what's about to happen. This miracle is about to happen. What about a miracle of delivering her from being kidnapped and being a slave? Verse 4. So this person went in and told their boss, like, yo, check it. This girl from Israel said something like this and that. So like the king of Syria was like, yo, listen up. I'm going to send a letter to the king of Israel. So he bounced and took with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 pieces of gold, and 10 outfits. And oh, just so you know, within his hand means he took it all with him. So you're willing to pay all of this big price to see a healing and a miracle, but not willing to let go of somebody that you kidnapped and you're holding against their will. Okay. Makes sense, as clear as mud. So this message was taken to the king of Israel like, yo, when you get this letter, check it. I'm sending Naaman, my servant, to you. He needs help with his leprosy, bro. So like the king of Israel gets this letter, right? And he's like totally shook. He tears his clothes and he's like, dude, am I like God or something? Can I just kill and bring people back to life? This guy wants me to cure his leprosy or whatever. Can you believe? He's trying to pick a fight with me. Seriously? Think about it, guys. It's not so cool. So like when Elisha, this legit dude who's close to God, found out that the king of Israel tore his clothes in distress, he sent a message to the king, being all like, why'd you tear your clothes, man? Come see me and you'll realize there's a true prophet here in Israel. So Naaman rolls up with his dope horses and sick chariot and parks at the entrance of Elisha's crib, straight flexing. Why is it that Naaman, the captain of the Syrian army, and the king of Syria knows about this great prophet in Israel, and the king of Israel is not acquainted with him? So Elisha hit him up with a DM like, yo, go and take a dip in the Jordan River 7 times. You'll be good. Your skin will be back. You'll be squeaky clean, fam. But Naaman was mad and left saying, dude, I totally thought this guy was going to come out like flex and shout to his God and do some kind of cool magic hand waving thing, and bam, no more leprosy. Like, seriously? Are Abana and Farfar, those rivers in Damascus, supposed to be better than all the waters in Israel? Can I just wash myself there and be clean? And then in a fit of anger, he stormed off, Abana or whatever it's called. And his homies approached him and were like, yo, Pops, if the prophet told you to do something major, wouldn't you do it? So why not just listen to him when he says, yo, cleanse yourself and be fresh? So he went down and took a dip in the Jordan River, just like the man of God told him to do. And guess what? His skin became all fresh and smooth, like that of a newborn baby. He was totally clean. Then he went back to the man of God with all his crew, stood before him and said, look, I get it now. The only true God is in Israel. So please accept this gift from your humble servant. He's like, bro, I swear on the Lord's name, the one I stand before, I ain't taking anything. He kept pushing him to take it, but he's like, nah, I'm good. And Naaman was like, yo, can I get a couple of loads of dirt? Because I'm totally done with offering burnt sacrifices to other gods. From now on, I'm all about worshiping the Lord. Yo, God, forgive me for this one. So when my boss goes to worship this god named Rimmon and leans on me for support, and I got to bow down with him in Rimon's house, I hope you pardon me for doing it too. He's like, yo, take it easy, bro. So he bounced out of there just a few steps away. But Gehazi, Elisha's servant, straight up said, yo, check it. My master totally let Naaman off the hook, the Syrian dude, by not accepting the stuff he brought. I swear on the Lord's name, I'm going to chase after him and grab something from him. Gehazi decided to chase after Naaman. When Naaman noticed him running towards him, he hopped off his chariot to greet him and asked, yo, what's up? Everything's cool? He's like, everything's cool, my dude. My boss sent me a message and he was like, yo, check it out. 2 young dudes from Mount Ephraim, they're like sons of the prophets or something, just arrived. Can you hook them up with like a ton of cash and a couple of fresh outfits? Naaman was like, yo, be cool, bro. Take these 2 talents. And he kept insisting. So he put 2 bags filled with silver, along with 2 sets of clothes on his 2 servants. They carried it all in front of him. And when he reached the tower, he grabbed them from their hand, placed them in the house. Then he set the dudes free and they left. So he went in and stood in front of his master, and Elisha asked him, where you been at, Gehazi? And he replied, I ain't been anywhere, boss, nowhere at all. He's like, dude, did my heart not go with you when that guy turned around from his ride to greet you? Is this like the right moment to be accepting money, clothes, fancy gardens, vineyards, animals, and people to work for you and clean your stuff? So Naaman's leprosy will stick to you and to your descendants forever. And Naaman left his presence completely covered in leprosy like pure white snow. I'm lost. Naaman left his presence completely covered in leprosy. No, that's Gehazi. Wait a minute, saints. Second Kings 5:27. 2 Kings 5:27. I can't let that one slip now. I know I'm taking some time. It says in the King James, the leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence, a leper as white as snow. So that is not correct in verse 27, where it says, and Naaman left his presence completely covered in leprosy, like pure white snow, because Naaman was the one that got healed. This was Gehazi left his presence completely covered in leprosy, like pure white snow. All right, so that is a error in this in verse 27. That's an error there. Naaman was healed. Naaman went on back to Syria, but Gehazi is the one that ended up getting the curse. And in the meantime, I want to ask you again, saints and friends, what happened to the slave girl? Shouldn't Naaman have gone back and the king and all of them set the lady free, since she was the one that told him about all this in the first place? Shouldn't that have happened? Shouldn't the king of Israel been grateful to Elisha for this miracle? And shouldn't they have rewarded this young lady? I've never heard any. I've heard sermons on Elisha. I've heard sermons on Naaman getting healed. I've heard lessons on Gehazi and what he did, but I've never heard anybody preach on that young lady. I don't think it even said what her name was. And it doesn't. It just says this girl, this lady. So this lady initiates an international miracle between two nations, and her name's not even mentioned. What's going on with that? You all discuss that in the comment section. Let me know what you come up with. 2 Kings chapter 6. So the bros from the prophet gang were like, yo, Elisha, check it. The spot we're crashing at with you is mad cramped, man. Let's go down to Jordan, grab a beam each to build ourselves a dope crib. He was like, yeah, go for it. And someone was like, chill and come kit with us. And he's like, bet, I'm down. So he went with them, no cap. And when they pull up at Jordan, they start slaying wood. You know what I'm saying? So like while this one dude was cutting down a beam, the axe head like totally fell into the water. He got upset and was like, yo, master, the axe head was borrowed, dude. The guy who speaks for God asked, where did it fall? And the other guy showed him the spot. Then the guy grabbed a stick, threw it in there, and believe it or not, the metal floated. So he was like, yo, pick that stuff up. See, in this day and time, people would be saying Elisha's working witchcraft because he takes a stick, throws it into the water, metal floats. He takes some meal, put it into a pot, and next thing you know, the poison goes out, tells the man, dip 7 times, he gets healed. That's what they would have said in this day and time, but it's amazing how God works miracles. What's foolishness to us is something that's masterful with God. The guy acts, believe it or not, the metal floated. So he's like, yo, pick that stuff up. And then he reached out his hand and grabbed it. So like the king of Syria started this war against Israel. And he gathered his crew and was like, okay, let us set up camp in this specific spot. Yo, the man of God hit up the king of Israel and was like, yo, don't even go near that spot because the Syrians rolled through there. So the king of Israel slid into the DMs of the spot that the man of God mentioned and gave him a heads up. And he stayed there to keep himself out of trouble, not just once, but multiple times. The king of Syria was upset because of this. So he gathered his squad and asked them, yo, can someone tell me who among us is spying for the king of Israel? One of his servants was like, nah, my dude, O king. But yo, Elisha, the prophet from Israel, straight up be telling the king of Israel all the stuff you be saying in your crib. So he's like, yo, go check where he's at so I can send for him. And someone was like, listen up, he's chilling in Dothan, just so you know. So he sent a whole squad of horses, chariots, massive crew. They arrived under the cover of night and surrounded the city completely. So when the servant of the man of God woke up, went outside, they saw that the city was surrounded, or he saw that the city was surrounded. I don't use all that they, thee, and this. No. So when the servant, the man of God, woke up, went outside, he saw that the city was surrounded by a huge army with horses and chariots. Servant got upset and said, "Oh no, boss, what are we going to do now?" And what us going to do? And he was like, "Don't even trip. We got way more people on our side than they do on theirs." So Elisha was like, "Yo, God, please open this guy's eyes so he can see what's really going on." And guess what? God did it. The young dude's eyes were open, and bam, he could see that the whole mountain was packed with those sick horses and fire chariots. All surrounding Elisha, it was lit. So when they went up to Elisha, he talked to God and was like, "Hey, could you please make these people blind?" And then they actually became blind, just like Elisha said. And Elisha was like, "No, guys, you're going in the wrong direction, and this ain't even the right city. Follow me, and I'll take you to the guy you're looking for." So he led them to Samaria. So like when they arrived in Samaria, Elisha was all like, "Yo, Lord, give these dudes some epic vision." And guess what? The Lord totally hooked them up, and boom, they could see everything around them in Samaria. The king of Israel asked Elijah, "Hey, dude, should I like totally go all out and attack them? Should I hit them or what?" He was like, "Yo, don't go all violent on those peeps. Why would you want to harm the ones you capture with your weapon? Just give them some grub and H2O and let them drink and bounce back to their boss." And he made sure that there was a ton of food and drinks for them. After they'd filled themselves up, he sent them back to their boss. From then on, the Syrian bands never came back to the land of Israel. So later on, Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, got all his squad together and rolled up to Samaria, ready to put it on lockdown. There was this huge famine in Samaria, like legit bad vibes. And they had the city under siege, and it got so desperate that they were selling a donkey's head for like 80 pieces of silver and like a tiny bit of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. Talk about crazy times, man. So like the king of Israel was just, strolling along on his wall when suddenly this woman starts yelling for help. She's all like, "Yo, my lord, the king, oh, help me." And he was like, "If God doesn't help you, where do you expect me to help you from? From the farming tools or from the grape crushing machine? God forbid I save you myself." King was like, "Yo, what's up with you?" She was like, "This other lady straight up told me to give my son so we can feast on him today. And then tomorrow we eat my son." Like, what? So like we were super desperate, and we ended up cooking and eating my own son. And I was all like, "Yo, give me your son so we can eat him too." But she straight up hid her son and didn't give him to us. So like when the king heard what the woman said, he totally got upset and ripped his clothes. Then he went along the wall and everyone was staring at him. And guess what? He was wearing sackcloth under his clothes, like against his skin. He's like, "Yo, I swear on everything, if Elisha, the son of Shaphat, isn't toast by the end of the day, may God unleash some major consequences on me." But Elisha was chilling at home, vibing with the elders. Then the king sent a dude to see him. But before the messenger arrived, Elisha said to the elders, "Yo, peep how this killer's offspring is trying to snatch my head. When the messenger comes, lock the door and keep him outside. Can't you hear his master's footsteps approaching?" As they were having a convo, suddenly a messenger showed up and said, "Yo, this bad situation is from the Lord. Should I even bother waiting for the Lord any longer?" Well, put these words in the comment section. This is the word of the Lord. Follow, like, and subscribe. Hit that arrow at the bottom of the screen and share this video. Shall we pray? Father, as we go through the word today, there's so many questions. And of course, many that are viewing have read this with me. This is the 6th time now that we've gone through this particular story. And it seems like every time we turn around, there's something new that we see. So many unanswered questions. And I believe, God, that these questions that come up help us to dig deeper. And as we dig deeper, we have a greater understanding in your word. So I pray that all of the things that we have read, all the things that we've discussed, you would give us understanding, because you said, with all thy getting, get understanding. And in our understanding, help us to be edified, Help us to be enriched in our faith, and help us to put to practice the principles that you teach us from and through your word. And we ask it all in Jesus' name. And the people of God said, amen. Put in the comment section, this is the word of the Lord. Listen, friends, don't forget, when is your pastor's birthday? Wouldn't you like your pastor to receive a personalized birthday card from yours truly? One that I have prayed over, believing God that he will bless your pastor's ministry, your local church that you attend. You may be the pastor yourself. Well, listen, make sure you go to my website, bishopelijahhankerson.com, like so many people have been doing and responding. Make sure we have your email address, cell phone number, and then also in the comments, make sure you put when is your pastor's birthday, your pastor's name, the name of the church, as well as the mailing address. And we will be sure to send out a personalized birthday card that has been prayed over, that God will bless that ministry in a great way. Do that today, bishopelijahhankerson.com.